Hello everyone, this video is in regards to a Yakumo TDU-N62. I believe it's a replica of a Singer machine. I want to say 16188, but I'll correct that in the description. I'm posting this to see if I'm doing things correctly, hopefully get some advice from some more experienced people, and if I am correct, I will leave it posted for others with this machine for some help, as there is zero information online about these machines. So I bought this machine without any experience, and hopefully you can see here. I'm taking it upon myself to try a bolt upholster project. I bought this thing on Craigslist. It's in decent shape, but it was dirty, so I cleaned it all out with solvents in and out, re-oiled it, and in the meantime I'd taken the feet off. I was playing around with those, with different feet that came with it, and changed the adjustment on this rod here. When I got back together and tried to sew, I noticed that my walking feet were not lifting. They were just moving back and forth, just like that. The pressure foot was going up and down, but that was it. It didn't seem quite right. So I got online, and indeed, that is not quite what should be happening. I posted on a leather forum, and one gentleman or lady, I'm not entirely sure, was helpful enough to point me in direction of the user manual, which I will link in the description below. It's a user manual. It's not an engineer's manual, not a maintenance manual, anything like that. So it's very basic, but it does tell you how to adjust some things. To adjust a walker foot, it says you need to adjust the presser foot rod, which is this rod here. It's connected from here all the way down behind this. The rod just continues down to the presser foot. The presser foot is the middle foot. So if you adjust it, you can loosen it off. And I'll take this tension piece out as well. A better idea what's going on. If you look, you can actually lift this rod now, and it moves that pressure foot up and down. And this clamps it, the adjuster. And the manual stated to adjust the walking foot, you adjust this presser foot height. Now I looked at that, I tried it, and it didn't seem to do anything. And I looked at it and I was like, well, how does that work? It doesn't change the geometry of any of this linkage. All it does is move this up and down. Well, I'm not as smart as I thought I was. After looking at many videos online of random industrial sewing machines and reading about this one in particular, this presser foot, this walking foot, actions are determined by pressure on the presser foot. So after fiddling with this around for ages, I discovered to get the most pressure on this presser foot, if you put the sewing machine at its top of rotation, there's a specific term for this, but I don't know what it is, so I'm going to call it top dead center. I'm a car guy. So right here, this circle, I'm going to call this, I'll call it a connecting rod. If you put it at its very top, which is centered behind the needle rod, and also if you look here, it's at the top of it, the needle is at its top of rotation. If you push down on the presser rod, push down on the presser foot, make sure everything's centered, aligned, and tighten it, anywhere this balance wheel is turned and the sewing machine goes into its rotation, this is as high, technically, as this presser foot is going to be. So as this turns, this whole thing is going to turn down, which the presser foot should follow. Now it's resting on the base, so it's not actually going to go down, but now there's pressure on it, which is taken up by the spring. And that causes the linkages here to cause the walking foot to move. So I've got the machine in its highest position, put everything back together. I just took this tension spring off, put it back on just loosely. And now you'll see, as the machine is turned, there's pressure being put down on this pressure, on the presser foot, and that's causing some action in the linkages to cause the walking foot to lift and move and down. As the needle raises, walking foot lowers, pulls back, needle comes down, walking foot raises. Now I've got a little bit of binding in here somewhere, which I need to figure out. But that is the gist of how to get the walking foot to move the way you like. I hope this helps anyone, because it took me hours to figure that out, as simple as it is. If I just followed the manual, it probably would have made more sense. One thing I'd like to add, which I do believe is correct, someone correct me if I'm wrong, this is the thread stitch length adjuster. If you unlock it, turn it, it will adjust the amount these feed dogs move. The bigger the stitch, the more the feed dog moves backwards, but it does not adjust the amount the walking foot moves backwards. So if you change the feed dog distance using this, you need to follow it up by changing the distance of the walking foot, which is actually on this screw here. If you, let me think about this. If you push it down in its little slot there, it technically will move more. And if you move it to the top, it will move less for a smaller stitch, I believe. I haven't actually touched it, but that's the way I'm thinking in my mind. I hope this helps anyone, and anyone correct me if I'm wrong. Thanks.